This is what I've discovered, that in order for any meaningful change to take place into our life, where we're not relapsing back into it, right? For any type of behavior, and I'll use the example of the smoker, the one that stopped smoking, right? And this person is counting their days, right? They're counting their days, and you ask them, like, you will want a cigarette, and they'll be like, no, I haven't smoked in 20 days, right? But then there's the other one that they have stopped smoking, right? They stopped smoking completely, and you ask them, hey, do you want a cigarette? And they're like, I don't smoke. You see the difference between those two examples. One said, they said how many days they had stopped smoking. The other one said, I'm not a smoker. The second one changes their identity. They no longer affiliate with smoking. It's the same thing with like people who don't eat meat, right? For example, I don't eat meat. So my kids, on the other hand, they eat meat, right? We're like down to chicken right now. Like I'm trying to like do chicken, but they're not. They still don't. They don't understand like why we can't have the meat. They love the steak, right? So when my kids eat something that they know I used to love, right? Let's say, what do they eat? Let's say they're having ribs or something, right? They'll be like, "Mom, you want some ribs?" And I'd be like, "I don't eat meat anymore." For me, it's second nature now. Like I don't eat meat. That's just something I don't do. Like I don't eat meat. I don't. There's certain things that just became part of my identity now. And the way that that happened was because when I gave them up, I wasn't counting the days that I was giving them up once, and then my identity has shifted in such a way that I knew that in order for me to become the person that I am today and be able to serve God the way that I serve God, my identity needed to switch, needed to flip. There were certain things that I wasn't going to be able to do anymore, and I had to be okay with that. And so I had to understand the reason why I was giving it up to. Like, for example, when it came to my body, to the things that I consume, that I put into my body, let's use the reference as meat, right? I was, and I still am, but at that time, I was fairly new to, spiritual warfare when it came to dark magic. I was very new. I didn't even know that these things were possible, that they existed. Like, I was so not aware of how evil some people could be and the things that people practice, right? That I just didn't know it was real. And until I faced it, until I was the one waking up with the bruises, until I was the one being spiritually attacked in my dreams, until I was the one that was feeling those spiritual attacks in the physical form while I was awake. Like, if you know, you know, right? And so I was guided to stop consuming meat. The reason being that um, it allows entities to attach to you because of the parasites in the meat. And then also I had to stop participating in anything that had to do with like killing, blood, like that, right? So in order for us to consume the meat, they have to kill the animal, right? And so this has nothing, I have nothing against people who eat meat. Like I really don't, I don't. But for me, it was something that I needed to do based on the severity of my case when it came to spiritual warfare. And so, and then also it also taught me that it's the same solution for all our problems. Like it's the same 7 steps, whether you're going through spiritual warfare, whether you just want to heal and overcome, whether you're trying to manifest a new reality into your life, it's the same steps. So it helped me. At some point, we just have to overcome certain things in order to ascend to a higher level. So I had to anchor my identity in what God was saying about me and what I needed to do in order to get closer to God and to be able to ascend. Because one of the issues is that we are using 10% of our brains, right, when we're not awoken. And when we choose to heal and ascend and awaken, and we go ahead and we, heal, forgive everything, basically the all is mental, right? So you heal your mind, you heal your subconscious, you heal all of that, right? So doing that, I had to heal, right? Because spiritual warfare is mostly mental, right? They have to have an opening for you, from you, in order for them to get in, right? And so with the not eating meat, being conscious about what I'm eating, what I'm putting into my body. And it wasn't just not eating meat, it was like, fast food, right? Foods that bring your energy down, foods that block your third eye, foods that go with your lower chakras and stuff like that, that are the colors of your lower chakras. If you, in one of my videos, I spoke on, like, a lot of the food industries now, they have the same colors as our lower chakras, which is sending a message to our subconscious, right? And so that's a whole different video. But again, I had to anchor myself in the reason why I don't eat meat. Why don't you eat meat, Susan? Well, because I know that it affects me. Not only am I making myself available for spiritual warfare, for spiritual attacks to be sent to me, for entities to get attached to me, but also what it does to my body at a cellular level. I am being a host for parasites too. And then the third one is that it also blocks my third eye, and it affects my connection with the Most High God. That was really the key one. Like, for me, that has been key. Anything that affects my connection with the Most High God is too much. It's too much of a price. I don't want it. Not worth it. Not worth it. So for me, that was just like, that's what clicked for me, because I knew who I was to God. I knew who I was to God. I knew that God loves me. And I knew who I was in the spiritual realm. And so if it cost me not being connected to God and to my spirit team, then it's just too much of a price for me to bear. So I didn't want it. I didn't want it. And so for me, because of the condition of how like the severity of my case, I had to go ahead and do certain things when it came to my to my whole existence. Like, what I ate, what I watched, what I heard, how I used my energy in all aspects. There was no more, going on dating sites. There was no more being lustful. There was no more just giving my energy to anybody. That just wasn't an option, because of who I am to God, because of my connection with the spiritual realm. If it costs me that, then it costs too much. I don't want it. Nope. And so one of the things that was being done was that I was being attacked so that my connection with the Most High God, we wouldn't have this connection. So it was like, no. But the point being, this video is about to end. We're out to time. I'm going to come back with another video. But the point being is that I was anchored. My new identity, even though I was healing still and forgiving it all and changing a lot of things in my life, I was anchored on God. That's what changed. That's what led to significant change. I was anchored in what God told me He was going to do and who I was to God. And He said that I chose that bloodline and I chose those things to happen so that I could give glory to His name, and that He's seen it, and that I had to do this and that. And I did it. And I was anchored.